Welcome to episode 8 of the Manager Conversation series, where we help you have conversations that matter with your team members. Now, as we are all over the place and trying to regroup and building a culture, it's important for managers to lead conversations about more than just the work. So these conversations are here to help you have more meaningful conversations. And you might be at that place where you really want to go a bit deeper with your team members, but you don't know how. And that's where this conversation series and the guides that we've created can play a really helpful role to support your intentions and your desire to do something different, but not really having the tools how to do that. So this conversation is about career anchors, which is a term that was coined by an organizational psychologist called Edgar Schein way back in the 1970s. But the assessment and the concept is a really sound one that you can use throughout time. Essentially, what he was saying is that we have one or more of 8 anchors that really is the motivation for our work. So career anchors and what motivates you are quite connected. They're very similar concepts. So, for example, technical competence might be something that is very much a career anchor for somebody. And that means that they like to learn and grow and they want to get really good at their subject matter, whatever their technical competence is. That is what lights their fire. That's what makes them excited. Or there is general manager or general management as a career anchor, which is far broader. The desire to see how things connect, wanting to oversee, wanting to encourage others, feeling this connection of work to purpose. There's another anchor which is around flexibility. So flexibility can be a massively important motivator for some people where they really value an organization or a role that allows them to shape the work around their life. Maybe they have their own demands, and actually an organization that creates that environment is extremely important to them. So that's the premise of career anchors. And what's useful for it at an individual level is when you are clearer about what your anchor is or what's most important to you, then you can make more informed decisions about career progression, for example, or even taking a different job because it's something that actually really appeals to you, but you're not really sure why. Or maybe even saying no to something. So, for example, if you have somebody in your succession plan as a manager, you're going, that person I think could be my replacement as a manager, and you look at their career anchor, and for them, technical competence is the most important thing. That's what really gives them meaning. And let's say pure challenge, which is another of the anchors, then you might want to have a much more detailed conversation with them to go, is being a manager something that you actually aspire to? Because that's a different motivator. So these are really wonderful conversations to have one-on-one, but in this conversation, this episode, we're creating the environment for you to have this conversation as a group. So you'll find in the resource pack, the guide, and the pre-email that you send out to your team members has a link on it to the actual, it's a free assessment on career anchors. So click that link, do the assessment, and then you'll find your own anchor and everybody else will too. Then in the session, when you come together as a group, our suggestion is that you then discuss what it is that anchors each one of you, your primary or your secondary or your top 2 anchors. The reason why it's useful to do that in a team conversation is because if flexibility, for example, is a primary anchor for somebody and they're really in a very desk-bound, got to be in the office, got to be seen, got to be visible, 8 to 5, maybe you can think more creatively as a group on how you could increase their level of flexibility. Why? Because then they'll be more committed to the organization and the team. So knowing each other's allows you to adapt and flex into how can I give more demanding challenges to the person who really wants challenge, or how can I spend more time connecting what this person's work, what they do, with the purpose of the organization? I need to do that because this person's anchor is purpose. And if I can't help them see that their job is meaningful and that it matters in our organization, they're going to be frustrated and potentially have lower levels of motivation. And that can be shared. I mean, why does it doesn't just need to be you, the manager, that knows this. It can be shared as a community, as a team, to increase communication, to increase the sense of belonging, increasing the sense of I am seen, I am noticed as an individual. I'm not just a number here, I'm noticed as an individual. So our guide and the slides that you can use as backing material for you is really aimed to facilitate a conversation around what motivates you and how can we as a team and how can I as a manager support you more to connect your work to what motivates you.